Hey, what is going on? What's hip hop happening tonight? It is Tuesday. Woo! Tuesday evening, and you know what that means. Throttle Talk Tuesday. On Tuesdays, we interview influential women athletes who are making an impact for other women in the snowmobile and dirt bike community. What is going on? I am Angelisa, your host for Throttle Talk. What is happening? What's going on? It's Tuesday. It's my favorite day of the week. What's up, Kaden? How is everyone doing tonight? So tonight's live chat is brought to you by Backcountry Motorsports, the Polaris dealership in Pemberton, BC. If you're looking to get a new sled, or if you're in Pemberton, make sure to stop by, pop in, and tell them I said, what's up? What's happening? Tonight we're interviewing Melissa Granger, and I am so excited to learn so much more about her story and what makes her such an awesome woman athlete when it comes to sledding. What's going on? How's it going? I had an awesome day. Thank you. I hope you guys had a great day. Was it sunny? Was it snowing? If you guys can hear me okay, I actually have some music playing. I'll turn that off. If you guys can hear me okay, just give me a thumbs up. Maybe give me even one of these. Hell yeah. Whoop, whoop. All right, so I'm going to see if Melissa's on here. Oop, Melissa. Send a request. Oh, doing a PowerPoint presentation. Well, I'm glad that you're here. So we're just going to wait for Mel. Yes, I just called her Malibu. We're going to wait for Mel to come in. Wasn't sledding, so solid 5 out of 10 for sure. Wish I was sledding today. It's supposed to be nice and sunny tomorrow too, so that is a-okay. You guys have a lot of snow, Kaden? Awesome. Yes, I think we could use a little bit more snow. More sunny days too. So we're just going to wait for Melissa to pop in. I just sent her the request. Sometimes it just takes a little bit longer with the connections doing these Instagram lives. What is happening? Welcome to Throttle Talk for everyone that's joining in. Oh, she was unable to join, so I am going to try that again. Oh, no worries, Mal. It happens. We'll get you on here. What is happening?
Hey,
How's it going?
good. I'm having issues. So we have the worst cell phone service, and my Wi-Fi is just bleh. So it's whatever. I think it's working good now.
Yeah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, Tuesdays is now my favorite day, so can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah. Ooh, I like your hat.
Oh, yes. Our new ones. Just picked her up some stuff there 2 weeks ago in Fernie.
Nice.
Wicked. Yeah.
Yes. Are you guys still having a cold snap in your area?
So it's gotten warmer, minus 25.
Okay, minus 25. It's gotten warmer, but
yeah, it's like spring weather for us now.
yes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, I think, up to minus 16 on Saturday, which okay. I'm praying it gets warmer because I committed to doing a polar dip. So I'm gonna die.
Oh,
basically.
Tell us more about this polar dip. When is this gonna happen?
So it's a SPCA fundraiser, and we're doing it through Bad Blondes on Instagram. It's a local group of girls up here that are big into motorsports, sledding, bikes, everything. Cool. And one of the girls, it's her birthday. So as her birthday, she's doing a fundraiser. So there's a few of us girls that have gotten together, and we're doing it. And last I saw or heard, the pot was up to $550. So the more you raise, the further we'll jump in.
Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh,
we're
that's gonna be cool.
we're on the hunt for palm trees if anybody's got some close by. We're gonna set it up. So it should be fun.
Oh, that's so awesome. What a
Yeah.
great fundraiser.
Yeah, it should be good.
Yeah,
Eh.
yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, I'm hoping it warms up. Definitely.
And minus 16 is like summer here right now. So it's a lot better than the minus 64 we had 2 weeks ago. So
Oh my God, minus 64.
yeah.
You can't even go outside with that.
No, like I work from home, so that's good. So basically just become a hermit. That's about all we do. We don't do anything.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, to jump vehicles and oh, it's just terrible. So oh well.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Well, let's talk a little bit about your season. How's your season been so far?
Great. Just started for me.
Okay.
So it's been a late start this year, but kicked it off with coaching with Mountain Loves in Fernie, I guess almost 2 weeks ago now. Not this past weekend, but the one before. So that was awesome. It was freezing, but everybody was just super wicked and we had a great time. Um, the weather opened up every day and we got sunshine and couldn't ask for anything better. So it was really good. So it's off to a strong start at that, and I'm going next weekend and the weekend after that. So got lots
So
in the plans.
you're coaching the next couple weekends, or you're sledding? Okay.
I'm gonna go early so I can get some riding in on my own with a fellow coach and some friends, and then as well coaching both weekends. So
Oh wow, wow. Yeah, you're
yeah,
busy.
yeah, yeah. I love it.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's dive into it. So
Okay,
tell us, who are you? Who's Mel? And
so
where are you from?
so originally born Alberta, Calgary. I'm a Calgary girl, but I was raised all over. We moved a bit for the military, and then my family's back in Ontario. So raised Alberta, BC, graduated in the Okanagan, followed family to Ontario, went to college, and ended up back in Alberta. So I've been out here for I think going on 8 years now, actually.
Wow,
Yeah,
cool, cool, cool.
yeah.
And give us the deets on your snowmobile.
So I just picked it up on my way to Fernie.
Ooh,
It's still in break-in mode. It's a 2021 Summit Expert 165.
nice.
It's pretty rad. I love it. Yeah.
I bet. What were
Yeah.
you riding before that?
I had an 18 850 165 as well. Yeah. And before that was a 15 800 Summit.
Okay, so you definitely noticed the difference between the 18 and
Mm.
the new one.
Yes, yeah. I've noticed a big difference in each one I've jumped up to, and this one was a good difference. It was, I think the first time I jumped on one and just went. It's like I was made to ride this sled. It's awesome.
Oh,
I love
I
it.
love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And what is one snowmobile accessory that you cannot ride without?
Oh, that's a tough one. So I haven't actually changed anything on this one yet, which is the first time I've just taken a stock sled and went road. And I love it. I don't even want to change much, but my brake lever, I would say, is the biggest thing. I rode with a TKI lever for the last few years, and I'm definitely switching out this one. I like the smaller lever closer to the handle. This lady's got little hands, and you're always riding with your finger on your brake, so it's a lot comfier and easier fit, better grip. So that's the first
Absolutely.
thing to definitely be swapped out.
Cool. Yeah, it's one
Yeah.
of those things where you don't want to like be riding with your hands like
Yeah.
stretched out trying to grab the
Yeah,
brake.
it's just a bit comfier. They got heated ones now, so I might make a switch, but that's
Nice.
gonna change. Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Oh, lost track, of course. How did you get into sledding and who inspired you to get into sledding?
So I guess you could say like growing up, we've always we were the boys that my dad never had, so we grew up always playing on stuff, toys. We got to ride in tanks when we were kids on the base, so I've always had a love for anything that's motorized. And I I remember back in high school, friends we all had Bearcats, and we used to go up above Peachland and Summerland up into the hills, and big old Bearcats on the trails, and you're trying to riding through cut blocks and whatnot. Back home, everybody's got sleds, but it's a lot more trail riding, ice fishing. Like they do radar runs, and I'm not a big fan of speed, so I sort of laid back. And then coming back here, first year back in Alberta, got the chance to do a trip to the mountains and just rented a sled. And it wasn't 2 weeks later, I went and bought my own sled. I said, yeah,
Wow.
it was good to be back and be in the mountains. I'd say my dad probably was the biggest pusher into anything. It was always, if a boy can do it, we can do it too. So I seen those boys take the 800s up their first big pole, and I only rented a 600. I thought, well, I could do this. Why not? So I did. And here we are now.
Awesome. Oh, I love
Yeah.
it. What a great
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
Do you have any sled shred heroes?
I would say probably Stephanie Schwartz. She's I wouldn't say like a idol. I don't idolize her. I love her. She's amazing. But just all of her accomplishments in all areas of sledding. Like we rip together all the time just as friends every season, and we have a blast. And I love watching her in the business. So I'd have to say Steph.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
legendary.
Yeah, I love her.
Legend. Wait for it. Yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been coaching for mountain labs and camps.
Yep.
How long have you been doing this for?
This will be my we have a visitor. It's my niece,
Oh,
Charlie. Future shredder.
yeah. Aw,
Yeah,
hi,
it's
sweetie.
so bad. I would say this will be my third. Stephanie could quote me or fix me on this, but I think this is my third season technically in coaching. She has a mentorship program, so we start out that way, and I got the chance to sort of mentor or follow along in Wyoming for the first time, and then that would have been 2 seasons ago, and last season was officially a little bit of mentorship, and then it was okay, take the reins, here we go. So
Oh, amazing.
yeah.
Amazing,
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, third season coaching. Thanks, Steph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, in Wyoming, that would have been really cool. That would have been an experience.
Yeah. Yeah, we unfortunately didn't get to go this year, but
Yeah, I know.
missed that for sure.
Yeah.
That is a trip of a lifetime. I love it. It's
Oh,
amazing.
that's fun.
Yeah.
So what is one of your takeaways from coaching with other women in sledding?
I would just say the camaraderie of being with these women. I have to say to this day, I still show up to a clinic. I'm like, oh, I can't believe I'm coaching these people. Like you don't feel like I'm in that spot. It's hard to believe some days, and I love it. But just being with the women at the end of the day, I remember the very first time I actually coached, and I said to Steph after, that was the best day on the snow I had ever had. And I didn't even really ride. I spent more time walking in the snow and pulling skis than riding. And it's a humbling experience, I think, seeing these women like of all ages just sit there and respect you so much and want to learn from you and listen to you. It's amazing. Makes your day. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the cheering. I always love hearing the cheering. I'm not a coach, but just like witnessing it when I was doing photos for Steph maybe a month ago, and just the cheering, like that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's great.
Yeah.
Everybody's so supportive in a clinic, which is so nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And so with your takeaway, what's a challenge that you find when it comes to coaching?
I think it's just connecting to all the different personalities, right? Nobody learns the same way, and you tend to sort of have, even all the coaches have their different, I guess you could say, methods of showing or teaching something, or different point of view on techniques and tips and tricks. And so it's finding what works for who you're coaching that day, I think, is the biggest thing. Like no day is the same. It's always different people, and they take away different aspects of what you've said. So I think that's probably the biggest thing, is jiving with every personality. It can be, that's your challenge, is getting through to everybody and making sure. I think a personal challenge is just making sure that you want to feel like everybody came off the mountain that day and got out of it what they wanted or learned something. You know, I think steps is check that bucket list off. So
Yeah.
yeah.
For sure. Cool. And do you have a favorite moment, like when you're coaching?
The aha moments when you can just see it. You'll work with somebody, something, and then you're like, okay, who's up? Go do it. And to see the excitement in the girl that just nailed like their first, you know, shit hook or finally understand side hilling wrong foot forward and just crush it. Or I've gone in some trees with a couple girls and, you know, they'll get out of there and they're like, we didn't get stuck. I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of fun. So it's just funny listening to some of the stuff they say. I think it's the aha moments when you see those come out. You're just like, yeah, this is great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I just saw Heather. She says, "Fuck
Yeah.
yeah, I can relate to that, Mel."
I love her. She's a good friend of mine in Lloyd, and
Aw,
I convinced her to finally go to a clinic. So we went to one of Steph's clinics together, and she had a rad time. So it was good.
aw, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Um, so where do you did talk a little bit about this that, you started 3 years ago with coaching, but where do you mostly coach then with mountain labs and camps?
All over BC.
All over BC. Okay.
I'm like a traveling hobbit in this wintertime. Live out of my
Okay.
truck. No, I'll go basically wherever Steph needs help. But I've been to Wyoming is the only place I've ever been in the States, even just to ride. So, and that's at Togany. And then in BC, it's Fernie and Sycamoose. And this year we get to go to Valemont. So mostly it's
Cool.
been Sycamoose though. And then luckily in Fernie for the last 2 years.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so outside of coaching,
Yeah.
who is your sled gang? Who's your tribe? Who do you ride
So
with?
I have a tribe. It's a group of guys out of Lloyd still. I moved to Fort McMurray 2 years ago, so I lost my everyday touch with them. But we're hoping to actually get together for a trip this year. Last season we didn't get to ride together at all. But it's just a group of guys that I've met through friends, and we all did one trip together years ago, and it sort of dwindled down to about 4 to 6 of us, depending on who can go. And they just call me and say, Mama Mel, are you going? And I book the rooms, and we'd load up my trailer, and off we'd go. So, and we've had they're definitely my gang. We've had some crazy times on the mountains. People just getting socked in or getting separated, and it's nobody comes down until everybody's found. So I trust them with my life. Other than that, it's basically Steph and our Lexi, one of our other coaches. Her and I try to ride together. And I have a new little Fort McMurray gang. So yeah,
Nice.
mostly guys.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Sounds, yeah, you're right. Like you need to like trust that
yeah,
tribe. You need to trust them
yeah.
and like uh you don't leave anyone behind, that's for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good. You need to have that comfort when you go, no questions asked. So
Yeah.
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, what is your favorite style of riding?
I love the trees. The trees love me. I travel with multiple saws.
Okay.
So they're my friends. I always come home with some remnants of my friends on my sled at their weekend. And you know what? Like, knock on wood. I've never actually really damaged anything in the trees, but I sure love to go hunting for bears, as we call it, in bear dens and tree wells. So, I love the trees. I like technical. I'm not a climber. I'm not a fan of speed. I'll climb when I need to get somewhere, and even then, I still talk myself through some of the places I've gone. I'm like, okay, that machine can do it. I can do it. We got the same machine. I just got to stick on my throttle. So,
Yeah.
I like the technical side of things. I like to push myself that way a little bit as much as I can and get better there.
Okay. So weapon of choice for
There.
slaying those dragons or slaying those bears. Saw or like those hand chainsaws.
I love them. So I got one last season. First time ever to try. I've always had like a fold out saw, a couple, one in my bag, one in my sled. And they're well used. I sharpen them. But I got one of those hand chainsaws last season, and first ride out, I was pretty excited. Somebody actually got their AL like stuck way down. The snow was so deep. We were in Blue River, and sure enough, on a tree. And up top looked great tiny, but we weren't moving it. So hand chainsaw to the rescue.
Nice.
When Mel come jumping through the snow, I was pumped. They were so upset. And I was like, I got this. It's okay. We can do this. And they're awesome. Honestly, I wouldn't go without one anymore. Way less. I find they're way less like strenuous than the fold out handle ones and stuff. Just wrap it around and go.
Just start going. Yeah, for sure. Oh, cool.
Highly recommended, and everybody's packed.
Sounds good. Okay, let's chat a little bit about off snow events.
Okay.
What do you do mentally and physically to prepare for a big day of sledding?
So, physically, nothing, to be honest. I don't. I'm one of those people that say I work out so I can eat. I like food. So I like to stay active all year. This last year was just so tough with the way the world is. But typically right after sled season, I start ball season, and I play slow pitch, and I will play 3 to 5 games a week, and I'll play right through till the end of September. Tournaments, whatever we can, till there's snow on the ground. And so I find that just keeps me, active enough to, I guess you could say my cardio is up there. And then from then till sled season starts for me, which is usually end of November, beginning of December, depending on snow. I'll go to the gym. I like to go to the gym sometimes, once in a while, when I feel like it. So don't hold me to that. And yeah, so that's my physical prep, I guess you could say. But on the day of, I'm roll out of bed and let's do this. And I just like my coffee in the morning and loud tunes on the way out to the staging area, and kind of just in my own zone, I guess.
Okay.
And it's more the ride up the trail. That's my prep time.
Yes.
I basically talk to myself the whole way. Depending on the day and when I know where I'm going and who I'm riding with and what I'm doing. So
For sure.
Yeah.
And do you find that maybe you would do the same thing for coaching, like when you have a big day for coaching?
Oh, definitely. On a big day for coaching, especially if Steph and I are together, I might blow up her ear or her phone the night before. What are we doing? Where are we going? What's the updates?
Right.
When we get there, we always have a little prep. Okay, you're taking this group, or this is how we're going to split coaches. And this is kind of what our crew is like. This is where we're going. But the whole trail ride up, I'll run through my head. How do I talk about side hilling again? How do I do this? How am I going to start this?
Right.
Yeah, I do. My trail ride up is always my chat to myself, I guess you could say.
Isn't that the truth? I find that with the trail ride, like even through the whoops, I'm always like either singing or talking to
Yeah.
myself. It's like your time to like really, you're just with yourself. So that's the only time you can
definitely.
chat.
Definitely.
So you talked about slow pitch and maybe occasionally going to the gym, but do you have a routine? Do you have a routine that, might help with sledding other than slow pitch?
I actually did it. It was probably 4 seasons ago now. I did a personal one-on-one with, actually, she's a sledder. I met her through a clinic years back, one of my first clinics, and started following her on Facebook and Instagram. She does personal training. Jen is her name. She's real tiny. And it was so much. I said, I need to make sure I'm good for sled season. And it was so much floor routine, just a lot of cardio and whole body workouts. It just keeps your stamina going. And leading up to going out this season, actually, a girlfriend of mine, Ray, with COVID, gym shut down. She brought all her weights over. We turned my garage into a gym. And for the past month, that's all we did, is just a lot of high intensity, just hit workouts, super short, sweat like crazy. And I do want to say, I think that helped. My first trip out, I did not die as much as I thought I would up there. I actually felt really good. So it's the high intensity training, I think, really helps.
That's
Yeah.
really great advice. I do
Yeah.
agree. And you wouldn't think that it was the cardio, like for sledding. Like you would think it's like more strength, but no, it's cardio. like like you
Uh,
said, high intensity.
you got tricks for strength.
Yeah.
There's ways to get around that. There's no way I'm going to walk out and I watch some guys that just lift your tunnel up when you're stuck. I'm like, I could never do that if I ever dreamed of doing it. I'll just stick to the cardio.
Totally.
I can shovel a lot longer than those muscle guys can. So
For sure. Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit serious. Serious now.
okay.
Challenges and struggles and pains. Um, it's just something I like to talk about because our sports, they're not, they come with their own unique challenges. Let's just say that. We all have struggles. So, what is one thing that you find that you struggle with when it comes to sledding?
It's funny because we tell girls this all the time at the clinics, but it's getting out of my head. That's got to be the biggest thing is your self-doubt. I know there's so many times just in my personal riding, I'll do something one trip and push myself and nail it, or something that just comes second nature. And I can be out there the following weekend, exact same spot, and just conditions can change. Snow can be a little less or harder or wind blown, whatever the case is, and just epically fail. And then it just knocks you down. So, and then you get in your head and it could just ruin your day. I think that's the biggest thing is just the self-doubt. I just need to get out and just ride, just do what you do. I'd say that's my number one. People go to clinics and do all this stuff for confidence. But I mean, I still struggle with that some days. You get in a situation like, oh my God, I can't do this. It's like, well, I did this last week. Why can't I do it again? So I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. Because like you said, we all go through it, we all experience it for sure.
Yeah. That's where the pep talks up the trail come in handy.
Yeah, totally. How about some injuries? Do you have have you had any injuries that set you back a little bit?
I've had some wicked bruises in my days. Always play connect the dots on my legs by the time I'm done a weekend of sledding, even with knee guards and everything on. But yeah, I actually lawn darted my sled. This was my very first ride last season, and I was with my boys. We did an early ride in December. Went to Blue, and we were just playing on a little lake, and there was a nice little tiny hill. We just played with my limiter strap because I wanted my skis to come up more, and the guys were like, "Mel, go up there. We'll take pictures." Okay, cool. Tried to wheelie. Well, I went over too far, and it was a creek on the other side, not filled in. Completely lawn darted into it, and it threw me, and I hit my shoulder on a rock, pulled my Abby bag, the whole works, and it turns out I actually dislocated my collarbone and tendons. So I rushed back. Luckily, it was the last day of sledding, so had a few extra drinks that night and made it through. Drove home, and when I came back, the doctor said that I was supposed to keep it in a sling, do a bunch of stuff. So didn't listen to him because I had a sled trip in 2 weeks from then. I said, nope, needs to be fixed right now. So I did physio and sort of rested it, I guess. Anyways, it took me all season to fix it. And sorry, no, that was 2 seasons ago, because then what happened was last 2 summers ago in softball, it got re-injured. I got run over by a big guy running first, and it re-injured it. And so again, I did weeks of physio and acupuncture and everything else, and it's finally good. But it led to shooting all the way down. I couldn't grip my throttle properly for a couple weeks, so It was back for sure. Yeah.
Oh, it does not sound fun.
Yeah. So didn't break it, luckily, but just tendons and stuff ripped, and Well, it's forever there. So like
Yeah.
months.
Oh man, crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm
Yeah.
glad that you're back on the mend and you're back full send.
Yeah. Maybe we won't send it like that though, but
Right. And how about some wins? Did you have like a successful year for sledding or like events that you remember? Any wins?
um yeah, I think so. The I would say that same year actually that I got hurt was probably a super win year for me too. I definitely pushed my technical level and my personal riding. And a biggest goal of mine always was I wanted to do an elevator. And so that was something I would just try at any face I found, any slope. I was like, I could try this. And by the end of the year, um, did actually pretty good. And then last season, right before the day before clinic, went out for a fun ride and sort of got sucked into a situation. And it was, as I was told, don't go down that way. It's death. Well, I went down that way. So the only way to go down that way basically was to elevator down. And it was, I got to the bottom and everyone came around. They're like, what are you doing? I said, where was the camera? I'm like, that was the best thing ever. So I think that was my best win. I was just so pumped. Um, that and probably just on the personal side of, like, when it comes to the business side of sledding, um, I last year got asked to work with a dealership, so that was a huge win for me, totally out of left field and unexpected, and I'm very excited about that. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yay, those sound like great wins.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, let's chat future Melissa. Do
Yes.
you have any goals for this season?
This season, ride, coach, just be out there as much as possible and just keep, positively promoting everything and everybody that I get involved with. I guess my biggest goal would be I would like to try and actually organize a small local ladies clinic. I guess not necessarily a ride, but a 1 day clinic. I have talked to the local, like our Fort McMurray Snowdrifters, our club up here, and we want to just do something. There's so many women up here that ride in the mountains. Everybody's a mountain sled, but all you do is trail, ditch bang, and lake ride here. Unless you go south of town, they have Stony Mountain, but it's not really a mountain; it's a hill. So it's like, but they get more snow there. So there's a lot of places with some nice terrain you could go and practice skills for when you actually get to the mountains. And there's been a few Facebook groups that have jumped up and I've gotten brought into, and just thought it'd be fun. Do something later season, get the girls out. So many of them say, well, I ride with my husband and I don't know any girls, or I want to learn how to do this. So just give them something before they get out there. I think that would be awesome. So
And
hopefully
you,
it goes.
yeah, and you're so right. It's like, just getting those skills down before
Yeah.
getting to those zones. Like you can practice these things even on flats, right?
Yeah.
Like, or
Well,
just like a little bit of a slope. It doesn't need to be extreme.
yeah. I had one girl say, she says, I have this sled and it's tippy, she says, but I can't get an edge. I said, well, if it's tippy and you can't get an edge, she says, I just fall over. She goes, I didn't know how to keep an edge. I said, well, you don't need to be in the mountain to learn how to do that. So just the little things that they want to try and figure out. So when they get there, they said that they all feel like they're, the kind of the downer of the group. They're holding the guys back.
Right.
Don't get stuck. So, well, we can work on that stuff here. It'd be fun.
Yeah,
Make a day. Yeah.
totally. That would be so fun. And just bringing more value to these girls.
Yeah, so yeah, we want to coincide with the snowmobile club and donate some money to the club. So just something to keep it local.
For
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And the clubs love that too.
Yes. Yeah, they're pretty open to it.
Awesome. Okay. And would you say you put a lot of pressure on yourself when it comes to riding, and when it comes to coaching as well?
Yes, I think I'm probably my worst own critic, and I think most people can be like that. I definitely, I mean, even this season, it was just a late start for me, just personal reasons, and the world the way it was. Just nothing was lining up, and it was tough. I think I almost will hold myself to a standard a little bit higher than what everybody else does, and that's me in all aspects of my life. So it doesn't matter whether it's sledding, work, doesn't matter. So yeah, that's a definite yes on that one.
Um, and what would you whisper in the ear of young Melissa, who was first starting out as a sledder?
Don't be afraid to get stuck. I remember my first trip out, everyone was, you're on a 600, and a bunch of guys who are no longer my riding crew for a reason. And it was, somebody got stuck in it, the ridicule and the this and that. And it's okay to get stuck. We always say, you're not getting stuck, you're not trying. Like, everybody just sit there. So many people are so afraid to get stuck or fail or fall off their sled. Just get up and try again. Like, it's okay to do that. Yeah.
Cool. That's a great advice. Any
that year is probably something that held me back from trying a lot of things at first. So you have to remember that. Yeah.
For sure. And any advice you'd like to give to women who are just getting into the sport?
I would say, be proud of yourself. Be confident. Take what you're doing and just go with it. Like, don't be scared to try something. Don't be scared to ask for help. Just all of it. And the biggest thing is, that get out of your head. You're doing good. You just getting up there can be such a big feat for some people. Just riding the trail up even. So you see women out there that conquer little fears on the daily, and it's like, just remind yourself when you get down. So many people get down in the day and they're like, oh man, I didn't do this, or I didn't, I didn't accomplish what I wanted, or I tried but I failed. And it's like, no, you got where you got to. Be happy about that. Like, focus on the wins at the end of the day and the positive. Don't always focus on the bad, because then it gets in your head and it can make the next day harder.
For sure.
Yeah.
I just saw Steph. She says Mel is a big asset to her coaching staff, but I want to know what Mel wants to work on skill-wise in her personal riding.
Of course. Steph, I thought you had a meeting at 7. What are you doing? I think I think steep is a big thing for me. They say steep and deep. That's great. But last weekend in Fernie, we got to coach a co-ed clinic. It was an advanced clinic, and I got to go with Steph to coach the boys, which is so. I remember that morning, I was like, as if I'm taking a bunch of boys out today. They're probably so much better than me. And that's that getting in my own head thing, even on a coaching day. But we were in spots where I was like, man, it was wicked riding, like amazing. But it is terrain that I look at and go, oh, on a personal level, I want to get up in there, because to me it looks steep and technical, such technical trees. But we were there, and it's that I want technical steep trees. You watch some videos of guys in there like just burping around and side hilling, and yeah, I'm like in awe. I like trees, but I want steep technical. I think would push that to the next level for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Dina, one Isabel, I'm assuming it's Dina Isabel. I'm the worst with Instagram names. She says, I know where this is going.
I don't.
And Steph says, game on.
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Yeah. So a quote you live by.
So I don't really I used to have one when I was in high school, and I was trying to remember what it was. But Dan, she's awesome, by the way. I know who she is. I for life of me couldn't quite remember it, but I won't lie. I'm not a big cool philosophical person, but I did see, when I see one, it'll stick with me for a while. And I seen one probably about a month ago, and it said, and I seen the perfect time. It said, You believed in Santa for about 8 years, so believe in yourself for at least 5 minutes. And I was like, isn't that the truth? So you can believe in the most random fairy tale type ideas out there, but it's so hard to believe in yourself sometimes. And just personal journey over the last year and a bit, it's to remember to believe in myself, and I've gone through a lot and come out stronger. So I think I thought it was funny, but it's stuck with me for the last little while, and I just keep reminding myself because I definitely believed in Santa Claus for a long time. So I think I owe it to myself.
Aw. Oh, I love it. That's such a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Where can we follow you on your journey as an athlete?
It's an athlete has me cutting.
Yeah.
um, I just that's so funny. I I I don't have a website or anything. Basically, Instagram. I post everything on there. Shares to Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook too, but Instagram's probably my main go-to. It's at Malibu_Mel. And yeah, you'll see my whole sled journeys on there. You'll see where I came from and to where I'm going. So, and it kind of
Awesome.
just copies over to Facebook. So,
Cool.
yeah.
And I have Ange says, sorry. What level expertise should you have before sledding the mountains?
I would say your AST, like your avalanche trainings, are super important. Oh, I can see her now. Um, oh, before sledding. Sorry, I thought you said before training in the mountains. But still, I still keep that.
Yeah.
Avalanche training, by far. I think it's amazing. The stuff you learn is beyond, like, you just wouldn't even think. And so your AST1, you can take your AST2. I know myself, I would like to take a wilderness, like, first aid. Um, they have those out there. First aid is great. You should have something along that lines if you can. But just know your gear. That's the biggest thing. I don't know how many people go into, thank you. I don't know how many people go into the backcountry and you see it or you hear horror stories after they wear gear and they didn't know how to use it. And that's like, that can be life or death. So, if you've got an air pack, blow it off, test it out, get it refilled every season. Know how to throw your probe together. Like just the simple things. Make sure you know how to use your transceiver. Put it in search mode. And what you're looking at when you look at it, that's huge. I know I took an ASC course and they didn't even know what they were looking at when they did that. So,
Wow, crazy.
how do
She also asks, how do you know if your own machine will work for the mountains?
those are really technical questions, you guys.
Yeah.
Well, it has an engine. No, I'm just kidding. So I know like where we're from back home, I would say back home, but in Ontario, everybody has what we call it here, like the short tracks. That's your ditch bangers. I've seen them in the mountains, and I've seen some guys just tear it up there, but they're crazy technical skill, and they work hard. There's just no traction, for all that deep snow. I guess a personal opinion. I love my 165. I did have before that my 15800 was a 150. What are they now?
What,
153.
four?
I don't know. I'm so bad at that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. So, but it was still considered a mountain sled. And so yeah, it was just from what I know. People can correct. Don't quote me on this stuff, you guys. Don't. You can correct me. But I believe you want the longer lugs. Like 3-inch track is wicked. You need that digging powder and that traction. The deep snow is what kills you. Other than that, I've ridden 600s up there. I've seen them up there. They can go places, but I always tell people just jump to an 800. Just get it, do it. Now they got the 850s. Every girl should have an 850. You can go anywhere with that thing. Yeah, if they tell you need a turbo because you're asking a guy, don't listen to them. Don't need a turbo. It's asking for trouble. Skidoo, backcountry. I see. I wasn't ready for these questions. I have Summit, and yeah, you would have to change your clutch weights. I have a Summit X. I've had an SP. I've only ridden summits for skidoos. Otherwise, I'm a Bearcat rider, but we'll edit that part out, okay, Ashley said.
Okay.
It's for they're just comfy trail sleds. I'm like an old lady on the trail. They're nice and comfy, and they're like a workhorse, and that's what we use to pull our fishing huts and stuff, right? Like our
Right.
packs. So, yeah, I've never been on a backcountry. I'm not sure, to be honest. I could ask and let you know. I think the biggest thing though is like when you're picking your sled for the backcountry, it's your setup though. You got to find what works for you. Some girls love their Polaris, some girls love their Skidoo. I jump on a Polaris and I look like I'm a brand new noob. I can't even do anything. I have the hardest time throwing it on edge. It's so weird. I've jumped on an Alpha before and I couldn't keep it on. I couldn't stay on it. So I think the biggest thing is what is right for you. What's comfortable for you. Try a few out if you can. If you have buddies that have different sleds, try different, track lengths, what you're good with. But, set up your bars, get your sled set up for you so you're comfortable with it. And then you can use it in the mountains or in the ditches. Doesn't matter. I take mine around here in the ditches. It's a good time.
I have another question. I'm just going to scroll up here. Mrs. Snowmax Erica, when I went to Wyoming, I had to change my clutch weights. I think you just read this actually. For
Yeah,
the different elevation.
the very first sled I ever bought, the weights were not set for mountain elevation. They were actually set for the prairies. And I remember the first time I went up, I was like, something's going on here. And two of the boys I was with, they're like, oh. So we changed them that night. They had a bunch of them with them, and we swapped them out. Again, not a mechanical expert. I don't know what exactly went on there, but yeah, I can see that. Where do you normally ride, or like elevation makes a big difference too, right? So when we pick up our sleds, or when I get mine, at least I know they just come ready for the mountains. That's all done. When you get certain sleds, their clutch weights are set. It's all set for that elevation. So
I have Daniela Linton. Hey Mel and other Braap babes, new rider here. Any tips and tricks on how to learn to carve? I keep falling off and not committing to the turn even when practicing on flat snow.
yeah, I would say a big thing is your head. Watch where you're looking. Don't watch your ski tips. I promise to be there when you're done, and they don't change color. You want to look where you're going. Always look ahead at the next step. Where you look to, that's where you're going to go. So if you want to carve to your left, be looking to your left, look ahead. And the countersteer, you want to keep that edge. Your countersteer, which is such a mind boggle for so many people. It was for me too. Till you finally do it and it clicks, and then you're like, that's all you want to do. So you're going left, you turn your skis to the right, but you want to lean out. It's kind of hard to explain this on Instagram.
Totally.
Watch some videos. You know what?
Totally.
Watching people doing stuff. I used to watch videos before every trip, and I swear it helps. It totally does. Just slow them down. Watch girls, watch guys, watch whatever, but really focus on what they're doing with their bars, the way they're positioning their body. A big thing is keeping your bars in your hip, making sure your stance is right, keeping your feet on kind of the edge of your running boards when you're straddling your machine to carve. So you have a bit more leverage, I guess you could say. That's a big one too. Keeping your feet flat and tucked in, you kind of lose that leverage to get your ski up on edge. So all of that helps. It's a lot. And practice, practice, practice.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ange says, I think that's her Instagram name, Sass girl, but I just want mountains. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Prairie girl here. Prairies, but I
yeah.
like the mountains.
Hey, Prairie girl too, Saskatchewan as well.
Yeah.
Steph Schwartz, she says Skidoo backcountry is a crossover sled and isn't ideal for mountains, but will get you out there on the trail and minimal snow. Full sled for trails and occasional off trail.
There you go. Thanks, Steph.
Yes, thank you. Kyra Casaroso, she says, haha, yes, I'm on a Polaris girl and I feel lost on a Skidoo. Heather Ann, one, piggyback onto Mel's answer. Look where you're going. Don't give up. Once you get it, you'll get the aha moment.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of it is your own personal technique too. You can like we'll explain something even in clinics and whatnot, and you can watch somebody ride and then you can try to mimic the exact same thing, but sometimes you just got to feel what's right for you. Take the pointers, take the tips on what you should be doing, and then you kind of make it your own. You'll find you kind of just meld with your sled. Once you know you got a machine that is set up right for you, the biggest thing is your setup. If your bars, so many girls, their bars are wide. Steph preaches this, and I changed mine after riding with her a few years back, and it's so true. We just don't always have the reach that like guys do. It's nice to have things closer to you and a bit more control. So your sled setup is huge, and yeah, practice. And commit. Like you said, you don't commit, you got to commit. Once you commit once and you get it, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I just got to follow.
Makes
It's
sense.
not as scary.
Roping on Faith, next level clinics on YouTube. Daniela says, thank you. Super nice coming from a fellow lady rider.
Yeah.
And Petite Pois, Jessie, she says, love ya, babes.
Yes, she's awesome.
Yes. I'm just going to go back. I don't think I missed anything, but sometimes things do get lost. Jessie is saying she loves Sycamoose. Haley is saying same thing. Becky, Sycamoose rocks. We do most of our riding there, headed back this weekend. Sarah Lynn 00, she says, yeah, you do. Steffi Schwartz, Bear Dens. Jesse, found a bad one a couple days ago. Absolutely.
Oh, I saw the video, Jesse. That looks a little gnarly. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes. Okay, so before I let you go, I have 5 questions. This is a quick 5 questions. Like, you just pick one and we'll move on to the next. It's one or the other.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I think so. Didn't prepare me for this. Okay.
I know. I like to throw a wrench in
Okay.
my chats a little bit. No, just kidding. It's all fun. Monosuit or 2-piece?
Monosuit.
Gloves or mitts?
Gloves.
Low visibility but with powder or tracked and sunny?
Low vis with powder for sure.
Thumb throttle or finger throttle?
Did try the finger though. Thumb.
Sled deck or trailer?
Deck. 100%. After my last weekend of pulling a trailer again, definitely a deck.
Yeah. Awesome.
Deck for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It's a blast.
Yeah, this was so much fun. Thank you so much for joining with me. Oh my gosh, I had such a blast getting to know you, understanding your story a little bit better. So I appreciate you. And you know what? When I did a call out, I think this was in the summer, I had so many girls reach out to me saying that they wanted to hear from you.
Get out.
So, yeah.
I sent Steph a message. I was like, this is for real. I was like, you girls are amazing. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I hope it didn't disappoint. But if anybody ever has questions, you can just send me a message. I'm pretty easy to talk to. I'll try to answer. Just don't ask me technical ones, ladies. What are you doing? I miss you too, Heather. I need to come back to Lloyd when life is normal and we can visit again. Yeah.
Sure. Well,
all right. Well, thank you.
Yes, thank you. And again, you're a huge influence, and you're obviously, making your mark and doing, making an impact on other women. So appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you
to all of you guys for joining in. Gems, Alan, she says, thanks guys. Loved this. We love you guys, and we will catch you on the next Throttle Talk.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much, Mel.
Thanks. Have a good night, guys. Bye.
Bye.